Hello students, this is Sank Sir. In this video, we are going to discuss CBSE Class 12 poem My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. Here I will cover the explanation, new words and literary devices of the poem. The poem is as follows. Driving from my parents' home to coaching last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. First of all, I'll share some facts about the poet Kamala Das. Kamala Das was born in Malabar, Kerala. She was recognized as one of the India's foremost poets. Her works are known for their originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. Kamala Das has published many novels and short stories in English and Malayalam under the name Madhavi Kutti. Some of her works in English includes the novel Alphabet of Last, 1977, a collection of short stories Padmavati the Harlot and her other stories, 1992. She is a sensitive writer who captures the complex subtleties of human relationship in lyrical idiom. My Mother at 66 is an example. So now we should go discussing the main poem with explanation. Driving from my parents' home to coaching last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze. Doze means a light sleep. Open mouth, her face ashen. Ashen means pale, like that of a corpse, and realized with pain. And corpse, C-O-R-P-S-E. Corpse means dead body. So here the poet wants to draw that it was Friday morning. The poet was driving from her parents' home to the coaching airport. Her mother was sitting beside her in the car. The mother was then 66 years old. While going, the poet turned to look at her mother. She found that the mother was dozing and her mouth was open. And then she realized with pain that her mother was grown old. She might leave us. And that's why the poet realized with pain. Okay? The next line is that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away. As soon as the poet saw that her mother was grown old, her face was pale, then she wanted to moved her mind, her mood, and then she looked at the window of the car and looked out at the young trees. Sprinting means running. Young trees running. Here, sprinting means actually it shows time. Time is passing away. And when one sit on the car and the car is moving, then we can see that the other things, the other objects which is outside the car is moving, and that's why the poet here looked at young trees sprinting means running, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Spilling out means moved out in a great number. Okay, so here the merry children means happy children. They are actually coming out from their homes with joy. So here the poet wants to draw her painful thought that her mother was grown old, and that's why she started looking at the young trees on the roadside. She saw children running out of their house in joy. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away. Who is standing? Her mother is standing a few yards away. After reaching the airport, the poet looked back at her mother again, who was standing outside a few yards away. I looked again at her. One means pale, yellow colored face, grey, pale as a late winter's moon. And when the poet looked back at her mother's face, what was seen by her? She saw that her mother's face was as pale as the moon in the late winter. Late winter means the old age. Here the winter's moon means old age. The last season, we know the last season, and that's why the poet here symbolizes by the word winter's moon as the old age. And after looking about these things, the poet felt ache, that old familiar ache. The poet felt ache means pain in her body. My childhood's fear. The poet's childhood's fear. I think all of us have a childhood's fear that my parents or our parents would leave us. And here the same thing happened to the poet, that her parent would leave her. And this is the childhood's fear of the poet. And here, because of the age of her mother, the poet thought that her mother would leave her, and that's why she was thinking of the childhood's fear. And he felt an ache in the body. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. We can see that she felt ache in her body, yet she spoke no word to her mother. All that she said was, "See you soon, Amma, see you soon." And the only thing the poet did was smile and smile and smile. We know the one line from Shakespeare is that all souls that ends well. Means when we departed each other, we should do one thing. which is smile and smile and smile. Smile is the only thing which can motivate us, which can relieve us from the pain. So in this session or in this lesson we can find some new or difficult words, which are doze means a short light sleep. Next is ascend, a very pale like ash. Crops means dead body. Sprinting means running, a short fast race symbolizes time. Spilling means to move out in great numbers like water. Wan means unnaturally pale, colorless, as for physical emotional distress. And the last one is ache, means pain. Here we can revise something that this poem is written in free verse. Free verse is a literary device that is free from limitations. Sorry, this will be revision. Okay, revision. Weak revision. So here we can see that this poem is written in free verse. Free verse is a literary device that is free from limitations of regular meter and rhythm. And the second one is she undergoes pain when she feels that her mother has gone old. The ache is the separation with her mother. Here the main pain is to separation from her mother. Childish fear suggests that she might lose her mother. And the second, to change her mind, she looked outside the window to change her mind and sees the young trees and children full of life, energy and vitality. Here she draws comparison between young and old age, life and lifeless face, vitality and pale flesh. Winter's moon whose light is overshadowed by fog and mist symbolizes the old age. And the last, thus the poet is reassuring her mother and also herself that they would meet again soon, and that's why she said no word but smile and smile and smile. And now we should look into some literary devices which you can find in the text of My Mother at 6060 by Kamala Das. First one is assonance. Assonance is the repetition of some vowel or consonant sounds within words, phrases or sentences. So assonance is the repetitions of same vowel or consonant sounds. Example, home to coaching. Here O sound. Here O sound is repeated. Doors open mouth. O sounds. She was as old as she. Saw sound. Here O sound. Here also O sound. Okay. This is assonance. Assonance is the repetition of same vowel or consonant sounds within words. Okay. Next is alliteration. There is difference between alliterations and assonance. The main difference is alliteration is the initial consonant sounds, identical initial consonant sounds. Okay. My mother. Here the initial sounds is M. I said was see you soon. Here the initial sound saw sound. Here the initial saw sound saw soon saw sound. So alliteration is the initial identical sounds and assonance is the repetitions of vowel or consonant sounds. Okay, and here is that thought. Okay, so next is simile. Simile is comparing two unlike things using like as then. When we can find that in the sentence like as then it can find that it will be used as simile. Here the example is her face as seen like that of a corpse, means here it is a simile, like is used, and the pale as winter's moon, pale as winter's moon. The next is metaphor. Metaphor comparing two unlike things by not using like, comparing two unlike things but not using like as then. Simile has comparing two unlike things using like as then, but metaphor, in the metaphor comparing two unlike things but not using like as then, but using is, are, was, or these kinds of things. Here we can see that the merry children spilling out of their homes, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Actually spilling is like water. Okay, the merry happy children is like spilling out like water. They are coming out like water from their homes with joy. The next one is personification. Personification is when you give human quality or characteristics to an object, animal, or idea. Personification is when you can give human quality to an object or an idea or an animal. Here example is young tree sprinting. Sprinting means running, it is an human quality, but here the poet uses the trees sprinting, the trees are running. Here it is, the trees is specified as symbolizes as human being, and that's why it is personification. Okay, the last one is repetition. Repetition is when we repeat the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer. Repetition is when we repeat the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer. The last line is smile and smile and smile. This is the repetition. So thank you.